I did prepare a speech. I hope I don't. Boy, have things changed. And fate, being in the right place at the right time. Hopefully this scenario will play out here in a short span. It's May of 1973. I am 22, completing my basketball career and education at Loyola University. Now, old-timers, don't worry, I'm not going to pull a Claire Kinsey here. Coach Ireland calls me into his office and asks what I'm going to be doing upon graduation. I tell him, Coach, I'd like to be a teacher and a coach just like you. Coach gets this big smile on his face, and I know I've got it. He tells me to come back at 2 o'clock that afternoon. I go back, and he tells me to go at 10 o'clock the following morning to meet Brother Donald at Holy Trinity High School. Now, you got to understand, Coach Ireland knew every priest and brother in the United States. I go to meet Brother Donald, and his first comment to me is, George tells me, you're my guy. You're my man. I tell him, absolutely, brother. His first and only question to me is, what is your educational background? Brother, I've attended St. William's Grade School. I've attended St. Pat's High School. And of course, I graduated from Loyola University. Brother says, perfect. I start my teaching career teaching 2 introduction to business classes and 3 theology classes. And I'm going to be the new head basketball coach at Holy Trinity. He asks me nothing else and says, congratulations. He then tells Sister Mary, and at that time, they were all Sister Mary, to write up my contract. In about 5 minutes, she brings over my contract for $3,750, and I sign it. I'm driving home, and I have no idea what just happened. There are 9 players on the team. I'm the 10th man. We have a great year. We go 13-11. And it is their best record at Holy Trinity over the last 20 years. The following May, Brother Donald calls me into his office. He says, you need to go to speak to Brother William at Holy Cross High School. Brother, you know what, whatever you're thinking here. Their head basketball coach has just resigned and he's going to Fenton High School. After an hour meeting with Brother William, I'm hired as a business education teacher, now teaching all business education classes, and I am now their new head basketball coach. In my 3rd year at Holy Cross High School, we enter the York Christmas tournament, where Glenbrook North is playing. We are both undefeated and playing each other's semifinals. At the time, Glenbrook North has 2 sons of Johnny Red Kerr, a son of Dick Mata, who's currently the coach of the Chicago Bulls, Bruce Roberts, who was at that time the sportscaster for Channel 2 News, and a son that is the president of the school board. I have a pretty good team. Remember, there are no great coaches, but only great players. Glenbrook North comes out for warm-ups. They're just clean. I mean, they all got Chuck Taylors on. They've got beautiful warm-ups, followed by their coaching entourage. Similar to what we see today at Glenbrook North. You got Dave, and then you got Doogie, and you got Liddy, and you got Miller. So it's very similar as to what we're seeing at this point in time. My ragtag group comes out. Some have tops. My big guys can't even fit in the pants that we have. And some are wearing Sears Jeepers. We handle the Spartans and go on to win the championship. Sad to say, that's the beginning of the end for their coach. I'm attending the state basketball tournament at the time in Champaign. Bruce Roberts comes up to me and says, do you have any interest in applying for the Glenbrook North head basketball job? I tell him, I'm definitely interested, and I send off my resume upon the return from the state tournament. During the first week of April, I receive a call from Bill Fuller, at that time the athletic director of Glenbrook North, requesting me to come in for an interview. At the time, GBN is on spring break. There's no one around. I meet with Bill for approximately 30 minutes, and he takes me over to the district office to meet with Bob Pomeranke, the director of personnel. I go into Bob's office. He lights up his pipe. He tells me he's a previous basketball coach, and we proceed to talk about X's and O's for the next hour. After Bob is done, he walks me down to meet Dr. Shealy, who's the superintendent, who is also a previous basketball coach. His question to me is, oh, by the way, after we talk about basketball, what's your teaching area? That's the first time anyone has addressed anything about what I teach. I tell him business education. He says, son, if you are as good a basketball coach as I'm hearing, then you must be an excellent teacher. I respond, absolutely. For the next 7 weeks, I hear nothing from Glenbrook North. It is the end of May and the last day of school at Holy Cross. It's customary for the brothers to have a barbecue, a couple cases of beer. Brother William, principal at Holy Cross, sees me at the barbecue and says, I'd like to see you in my office at 1 o'clock. I can't imagine what this is all about. At the time, I go to the office at 12:55. Tony Gravetti, the only secretary in all Holy Cross High School at that time, sitting at her desk, phone rings. She says, Pat, it's for you. Get the phone. It's Bob Pomeranke. He tells me that GBN would like to offer me the head boys basketball coaching position and would like me to come to the district office at 3 o'clock that day to sign the contract. I tell him I'll be there. As soon as I hang up the phone, Brother William calls me into his office. Mr. Compobasso, I received a call this morning from someone from District 225 asking for a recommendation. I don't know what's going on. He pushes over my contract, which I have not signed yet, and tells me that he needs to know by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning what my intentions are, because if I do not, I will not be offered a contract for the following year. I take the contract, I rip it up, and I throw it on his desk and tell him I will not be returning to Holy Cross. I then proceed to the district office and meet with Jim LaCivita. Some of you know where this is going. Negotiations kind of begin and end. Jim says, Mr. Compobasso, you're going to be making $15,500, up from $8,750, which I am currently making. I'm ecstatic. The next week, I meet the team and run their summer basketball camp. Up to this point, ladies and gentlemen, I have never met an upper-level administrator at GBN or Mickey Johnson, my instructional supervisor, until the first week before school begins. Here I am 33 years later. Mike, thank you for the eloquent summation. I would like to thank my lovely family for being here this evening. Some of you remember some of them with little cheerleading outfits and pom-poms. First of all, I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Barb, of 37 years, for her support and patience. Now, just a little sidebar. Barb has 2 more years to retirement. So I am sure in the morning, Eric and Kathy will be being played a little bit louder over the radio. And I'm sure she'll be using more lights to get ready for work in that particular morning. My oldest daughter, Charisse, and husband, Tim, and Lily, my granddaughter, home sleeping. My daughter, Christy, her significant other, Jesse. My daughter, Carrie, and her significant other, Andrew. And my daughter, Carly, and her significant other, Ryan, could not be here because he has a business commitment. Yeah, some of you figured it out. 3 significant others. So Mr. Compobasso will be working. I would like to thank the Career and Life Skills Department for their hard work and dedication to the students of Glenbrook North. Table of Wisdom, remember, what is said there stays there. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone for coming this evening. I'm not good with pearls of wisdom. All I would say is that we've had the opportunity to work with the best people in the world and to teach the best students in the United States. Thank you.
And there was one.